Hey there, Edgar community. Welcome back to another How'd She Build This. And today we're really lucky to be joined by another MeetEdgar user, Sarah Block, who is an incredible digital marketer and strategist and who focuses on things like freelance writing, speaking, and is a wealth of knowledge in operational aspects of running a startup. And I will pass it over to Sarah to explain a little bit more about her company and what she does.
Hi. Hi. It's great to connect with everybody on here. I've been in love with MeetEdgar since I think 2015 I started using it. I am the founder of Tiny Marketing. I started off using MeetEdgar when I was a one-person marketing department, and I think it's just the easiest for tiny marketers who don't have a lot of bandwidth and need to get the most out of their tools. So that's how I started using it. And now I use it with my clients who are tiny businesses. It makes it easier for me to manage everything. I love the recycling.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love this idea, and something that I know you can speak to a little bit more that I think will resonate a lot with our MeetEdgar community is that you don't need a big team to have effective marketing. I know that's one of your taglines, and it's in the title of your business even. So can you talk a little bit about some of the workflows that you've found to either delegate or to really create an effective marketing message and marketing strategy while having a tiny team?
Yes. I use Trello to manage my workflows, and I don't think you need a big in-house team to have effective marketing. I was able to manage 5 different companies all by myself as a one-person marketing department for a larger group. And doing that, I chose tools that did gave me the most bang for my buck. The reason I picked MeetEdgar was the recycling. At the time, they were the only ones that did recycling, and that saved me probably 15 hours a week. And then I used Trello to manage my contractors. I create a workflow where I communicate just in there, and I create a creative brief so it's clear what they need to do, and we just move it through the Kanban system in order to make it work.
That's awesome.
Yeah, combining these tools, MeetEdgar, HubSpot, and Trello, that has made everything work.
Yeah. You're creating systems that work for you, so you're not actually spending all of your time doing admin tasks and stuff like that, but you can take that time of creating really valuable content for your community is what really pushes people into this space, that they create a message that people actually want to hang out on their Facebook pages or hang out and read their marketing emails and stuff. It's because you give yourself that space to create really valuable content. And I love that you've come up with this system that you can use MeetEdgar, and what she's referring to with recycling is just as a social media automation tool, we focus on creating a really strong status update and not letting it only be used once, but using it multiple times in what we call an evergreen content strategy. So when you're coming up with the content you're sharing more than once and that you're upcycling, repurposing on social media, what are some of the things that you do to not only brainstorm that type of content, but to make sure that it's written and gets into MeetEdgar in a smooth and systemized fashion?
I actually work with my VA, and we tag team we use the 60-40 plan. So 60% of the content that we put in social media is curated. We'll find content that we think that resonates with our clients and my own brand. And then 40% of it is our own original content and blogs that we write for our clients. We brainstorm it through usually Google News alerts around what people are talking about. Go to our go-to pages. There's always publications that are always they create amazing content. So we'll pull in those RSS feeds straight into MeetEdgar just to automate it, make it a lot easier. When you're running with a lean department, you have to do everything you can to save time. And then along the same lines that you were talking about, just making the messaging and the content very narrow. You get the most for your money when you're talking to a very specific audience. It hurts when you try and spread your the old saying, if you're trying to talk to everyone, you're talking to no one. So that includes with your social media content. Focus in on that one person that you really want to sell to and talk to just them.
Yeah, that is probably some of the most golden advice you could give, is making sure that your messaging really hits with the person your product or service is going to help the most, and not being afraid to put content out there that might be even a little polarizing, and it might get people who aren't right for you not to follow you. And that's okay, because that's how you create a strong minded community for sure. So I love that you shared that. And this idea of curating content, I know a lot of people can get scared of sometimes, being like, wait a minute, but I want all of my links to lead back to my site, and I want everything that I put out there to be branded by me. But truly, when you're curating content, it gives you a space not only to show your audience that you stay up to date in what's going on in the industry, but the status updates themselves can always lead to a way that you're showing your followers your own thought leadership, asking them questions about what's in that article, and making sure that your brand awareness is encompassed within sharing that curated content. So I think that sharing curated content should definitely be a part of everyone's strategy there. So can you kind of talk your way through how it helps save time using RSS feeds for this within MeetEdgar? Do you send them to a pending content queue? Who goes in and approves them and customizes them and all of that stuff?
Yes. Definitely, I put it in pending because there could be some random thing that comes in, or a competitor is mentioned in the article. So you definitely want to take a look, make sure that the content actually makes sense for your audience. Don't automate too much. And how I do it is, usually my assistant and I will put in some RSS feeds that we think make sense. She'll put them in pending, and then I'll take a look at it and approve which ones make sense. And that's what
teamwork. Yeah, that's really great. So like Sarah was saying, just making sure you have these really great systems where you're not putting everything on yourself, but you're delegating the things out, and you're working with the team that you have, and using tools to save you time and to keep you organized in your business. So I'd love to dive a little deeper in how you get your message to go really narrow, and how you've developed a great audience persona to share your message from. I know that you have different freelancers that you work with. You do a lot of speaking engagements and that kind of stuff. And within all of these things that you're doing, you have a core message that you want to get out into the world. How do you really kind of first develop that? If you're a new person starting a new company or brand, do you have any tips for people out there on how you kind of narrowed in your specific message?
Yeah, I started, well, one, it was my history. Go with what you know, what your actual background is. For me, what made me different is that I was a one-person marketing department for 5 companies at the same time. That gave me a unique perspective. And with every piece of content I write, I think, how does this provide value for that audience, for those people? Either they're solo, they're a one-person marketing department for a company, or they're a small company that has no marketing department. How does it add value for them? They're lean and they need to understand how to automate the best way possible, how to outsource. A lot of people don't know how to find freelancers and manage them. It's more complicated than you would think if you've never done it before. And just streamline everything that you can. So I try and stay focused. Every time I put out some content, it's around that, how to get the most from your marketing.
Yeah, that's really smart. And I think that not only kind of streamlining what you think your message is, but if you're trying to develop your message right now, use what Sarah just said, and that think about what you have to offer that might come easily to you. And you think, everyone knows how to do this. Everyone knows how to outsource. Well, that might not be true. Your brain just might be thinking that because you're an expert in that area and you do this every single day. So ask people around you, ask them what they find you to be an expert in, or think about the questions that people ask you all of the time yourself, and use those things as your unique selling proposition, because that's what people are seeing you as an expert in already. And you can offer value and be that mentor to people by showing up in social media and giving free value to your followers in the way that it's going to position them when they're ready to buy or need a product or service like yours. You are the logical choice because you've been showing up every single day, consistently giving that same message to them over and over again, drilling it in their head that you are the go-to person for this area. So I love that so much. So do you have any other kind of non-negotiables when it comes to marketing on social media that you find either helps with creating systems that can scale your message, or helps with how you can create content for social media in a really kind of time managed well way?
Yeah, I would say halfway automate. I love MeetEdgar for being able to auto schedule, create content for me. I could put a link in there and it'll auto generate content for me. I love that part of the automation, but you can't rely completely on automation. You need to engage with your audience or you're not going to have an audience. So know when your schedule is. You in MeetEdgar, you set a schedule. Remember when that is so you can be aware and you can look at your alerts and see who's commenting so you can comment back. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, so I usually set aside 3 times a day where I just check my latest update and like and respond to all of my comments. They'll stop commenting if I don't engage with them back.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. When we hear the word automation and think about set it and forget it being something that we want in our business, that's when you can actually start losing the idea that there's real people who are reading your status updates. It's not just a screen you're sending it out to. It's for someone's eyes to read and you want them to engage with it. So when you're writing it, remember you're having a conversation with real people behind those status updates. And a conversation means a reply. It means that two-way street. So keep the social media and remember to automate the things that you don't need to do, like posting. You don't need to log in and post every day, but you do need to log in and actually have that conversation to show that you outcare your competitors or that you're there for the people who want to engage with you. Because we all know those algorithms are looking for meaningful social interaction. And oftentimes we're like, oh, my engagement rates are so down, without taking a look at our own behaviors and if we're actually inviting our audience to communicate with us. So I think that is golden right there for sure. So if you can just describe one last marketing tip, it can do with MeetEdgar and automation, or it can do with anything that you have found that has really helped propel your business to the success that it is with our community, what would that be?
The thing I guess the thing that has really grown my business is showing up, being where my audience is and being there regularly. In the past, I've definitely dropped off the face of the earth before when things have happened. And then, everything I've worked for dies along with that. You need to show up and be a real person every day where your audience is. For me, that is LinkedIn generally, and build an actual authentic relationship with the people on there. Social media marketing, people sometimes think that you can set it and forget it and just leave it alone, but you can't. If you want to actually get leads from it, you have to build real relationships from it. I get leads from social media every single day, and it's because I show up and I talk to these people and they know me and I drive value. And that is what everyone needs to do. You need to show your value in order to get those leads. It's like a little taste test before they actually reach out and will pay for something.
Yeah, I think that is so smart. Just building that trust is going to take time. And if you've fallen off in the past, forgive yourself. It's okay. But take Sarah's example here of saying, you can flip this around by offering value over and over on a consistent basis and starting to make sure that people see you as a person on the other side of that screen, like what we were saying, who is there to serve, who is there to offer value. So make sure that you're thinking about the percentage of what types of posts that you're sharing. As Sarah has shared with us that they follow the 60-40 rule, and they found that works well, especially on LinkedIn, being a much more business-oriented social media platform. They want to share business related articles, and she knows that works well for her audience there. So think about where your audience wants to hang out, because everyone's is a little bit different. Maybe your audience isn't super active on LinkedIn, but they're more active on Instagram. So don't force people to consume your content in the different places. Have a presence everywhere, but focus on that one platform that you know is going to skyrocket your business, and have real conversations with people there. So Sarah, I love this conversation so much, and we really appreciate you sharing your experience with how you can build really scalable systems with a tiny marketing team and basically keep up with the bigger brands out there to get your message out there.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Have a great day.
You too.